Tonight is the 1st of Kislev, and it's the anniversary of the Rebbe's recovery, miraculous recovery from a heart attack that the Rebbe had back in 1978. At the time, the doctors feared the worst, and there was incredible anxiety and tension among Chassidim, among Jews all over the world. And when the Rebbe recovered, the whole world, all the Jewish world, everyone who knew the Lubavitch, the Rebbe, and what the Rebbe meant for the Jewish people, there was such a celebration, such a joy, such a happiness. And because of that date, the exponential growth of Lubavitch and through Lubavitch in the Jewish world, throughout the world, through the Rebbe, is something that is the reason we're here today, because of what happened, because of the Rebbe's recovery, because of the Rebbe's miraculous recovery. So, significantly, this recovery happened on the 1st of Kislev. I just wanted to share a little bit about the 1st of Kislev, what it means, and what it should mean to us. I just came back this week from the International Conference of Chabad Rabbis. If you haven't gone yet, you got to come with me next year. Mashiach is delayed till then. It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable experience. Having dinner with a few friends, like 6,500 of them. It's special. It's special. You've been?
It changed my life.
You changed your life?
Yeah.
It does. It changed my life this week also. But I'm getting ahead of myself. In order to appreciate tonight, let me start off with this. Rabbi Avram Hecht, Rabbi Zalmi Hecht's grandfather, was invited by the Rebbe to celebrate. You need a chair? I got a chair for you over here. Front row seat, same price as back row seats. The only thing is the price of this, you have to say l'chaim. Give the Jew l'chaim. Water. Give me water. We have water. We have 100%. We have 40%. You want 100%? We have 100%.
Alcohol?
You know, there was a chassid. I just want to tell you, there was a famous chassid. His name was Rabbi Yitkin. I had the pleasure of knowing him. Rabbi Yitkin was studying chassidus every day. He was 90 years old, and his study partner was 100 years old. They would study together every night, and after they finished studying, they would have this what they called spirit. Spirit is 96% alcohol, and this poor mayor, later on in his life, they found water in his lungs. He said, "I knew that 4% of water would kill me."
No.
Anyways, so Rabbi Avram Hecht, the Rebbe made a surprise farbrengen on the last day of Hanukkah, after his recovery, and Rabbi Avram Hecht felt that this was something connected to the Rebbe's recovery. The Rebbe didn't say it was about his recovery, but he felt that the reason the Rebbe made this surprise farbrengen was because of his recovery. It was a meal of thanks. It was sudden, it was unusual. He felt it was a meal of thanks, and he wrote a letter to the Rebbe thanking him for inviting him to this meal of recovery, the meal of celebration, Sudat Hoda'ah as it's called, a meal of thanks. In response, the Rebbe said something very unusual. It's very unusual for the Rebbe to talk about himself, even in a hint. And this is something which gives us some insight of what happened. In response, the Rebbe said, look in the introduction of the Zohar. Look in the story in the introduction of the Zohar. The story in the introduction of the Zohar is a long, long story. Just one anecdote of it is that Reb Chia, Talmud says, if it wasn't for Reb Chia, the Torah would have been forgotten. Reb Chia was someone, the Torah says, that he planted seeds. And with the seeds, he grew flax. And with the flax that he grew, he trapped deer. And with the deer that he trapped, he wrote Torah scrolls. He went to one village, and he said went over to 5 kids, said, "Hey, Ben, let me teach you the book of Bereshis." And Ben's like, "Sure, I love Bereshis." And Ben learned the book of Bereshis, went over to another kid, "Let me teach you the book of Shmos." And taught 5 kids with those Torah scrolls he made on the deer, 5 books of the Torah, and they said, "Okay, Ben, you teach them Shmos, you teach them Bereshis." And because of Reb Chia, the Torah wasn't forgotten. So the Zohar says Reb Chia went to heaven. He went to the chamber of Shimon Yochai. And there's a whole storm, there's a tumult in the whole world, and the Reb Shimon Yochai asked Mashiach, what is this human being doing here? And Mashiach responded, he's not a human being, just a regular human being, this guy's someone special. In short, the Zohar says that Reb Chia returned to this world. So there's something about Reb Chia went up to heaven, and then he returned, because the world needed him. What the story means, I'm not a Kabbalist. I I don't know the inner meanings of the story, but it was clear that the Rebbe was saying there was something going on in heaven, and that's why his life was in danger. And then his recovery was similar to Reb Chia's return to this world, that the world needed Reb Chia, and Reb Chia accomplished so much, and that's why the Rebbe is here. That's on the surface. That's on the surface, the connection between Reb Chia and the Rebbe and the story. But tonight's Rosh Chodesh Kislev, let's try to go a tiny bit deeper. This week, we read a Parshas Toldos. Parshas Toldos begins with these words: Yitzchak is the son of Avraham. Avraham gave birth to Yitzchak. It sounds redundant. What does that mean? So Rashi right away tells us, the scoffers of the generation said, you're telling me that Yitzchak is the son of Avraham? Are you kidding? Avraham is 100 years old. Sarah is 90 years old. There's no way Yitzchak was the father of Avraham. Rather, Sarah became pregnant with Avimelech, and this boy, their child, is a child of Avimelech. Avimelech is the father. Sarah might be the mother, but no way it's from Avraham. So what did God do? God made the face of Yitzchak look like Avraham, and everyone could tell that Yitzchak is the son of Avraham. That's on the surface. According to Kabbalah, Yitzchak and Avram are very different. Yitzchak is associated with fire, and Avram is associated with water. Avram is about revelation. Avram is about exposure. Avram is about... When you met Avram, what did Avram do? He brought you into his tent. He gave you a good meal, and he spoke to you. Can you imagine speaking to Avram? Can you imagine what that was like? Can you imagine what kind of change it would have in you speaking to Avram? And you became aware, all of a sudden, of God, just by talking to Avram. Avram channeled God. He brought, just like water descends from above to below, water has gravity, so to Avram revealed Hashem in the world. That's Avram. Yitzchak is like fire. Yitzchak dug wells. The idea of digging a well is not that you're channeling something from on high and trying to superimpose something from above in the world. Digging a well means revealing what's beneath the surface, revealing what's there already. I'll tell you a story. It happened to me this week. Actually, last week. I arrived in JFK last week on Frontier Airlines. And by the way, it is true. I never flew on Frontier before, but it's... I mean, everyone on the whole, every single person on the staff was anal. That's what it was. I mean, and the whole flight was squeezed, and I'm a spoiled little A-boy already. And we arrive at 4:30 in the morning, and we're at JFK, and the whole plane is radio silent. And there's a guy 5 rows behind me, and he looks maybe Jewish. I wanted to ask him if he was Jewish. I knew I wouldn't get another chance, or maybe I wanted to irk the many Pakistani wrestlers on our flight. And so I asked in a loud voice, "Hey, are you Jewish?" And he's like, No, I'm not Jewish. My aunt is Jewish. Your aunt is Jewish. Okay, this is your mother's sister, your father. This is my mother's sister. She's Jewish. How did your mother's sister become Jewish? My mother's sister is Jewish because her mother was Jewish and she practices some Judaism, so she's Jewish. All right, you know the rest of the story possibly. You're as Jewish as Moses. Okay, that's interesting. No, it's not just interesting. It's meaningful for you right now. We need to give you a bar mitzvah. What's a bar mitzvah? So he comes off the flight, and by this time it's 5:07. He has his sleeve up, and he's ready to do something. He's ready for the magical experience that I'm promising him at 5:07. I didn't know what Rabbi Moshe Feinstein said. I heard Rabbi Moshe Feinstein said that you could put on film with someone who was not going to put on film later, even before dawn. I didn't know that. I thought dawn is the cutoff. You cannot put on film before dawn, and obviously better to put on after dawn. So, but either way, I thought like there's no choice. So usually, I learned something. Usually I think of the tefillin campaign as something transactional. You got to get the guy to put on tefillin. But here, I had to make sure this total stranger was not going to run away in the next 6 minutes. I had to, so I spoke to him, not to my brownie points. He's the object of my mitzvah. He's a person. He's a Jew. Who are you? What's going on? Where are you from? Where am I from? And we connected. We connected to the point. You know those people who speak 7 languages and they speak with such a heavy accent you think they can't speak any? He's one of those guys. Like one of those your father's outside. Ben, your dad's just calling me. He's probably outside. So this is one of those guys. You put on tefillin with him, and after he puts on tefillin, he's so excited. There's a smile on his face from ear to ear. This means so much to me. He says these words. I'm not exaggerating, Shmuel. These are the words he said. You brought me back to reality. That's the words he said. You brought me back to reality. You know? You get it? What do we think? Simchas Torah, after all the holiday season, then we go back to the 9 to 5, and now we're back to reality. No. What people call reality is an illusion caused by the absence of a little l'chaim and stories of the Rebbe and chassidus. That's not the real reality. The real reality is putting on tefillin and coming back home to Hashem. And it wasn't just that. He stayed in touch with me. We're in touch. God willing, my son will go visit him tomorrow. And he wants to connect to Hashem. He felt that he was there. He was brought home. What happened? The living waters that were beneath the surface came to the surface. Hope you know what do you want to say?
So my question is that evoking Avraham and Yitzhak by putting tefillin on someone?
Okay. Very good. So I think this was a clear Yitzhak thing. The Yitzhak thing that he has something beneath the surface. Mm-hmm. I am not Avram. I know you may think I'm Avram because I have this fancy chair in the front of the synagogue, but I happen to know that he is him and in me ain't. And but this guy had something. The mitzvah. It says in the Talmud, when wine comes in, secrets come out. There's a mitzvah. Mitzvah is the wine of the soul. When the mitzvah comes in, the soul comes out. It was beneath the surface. It was there, just exposed. So the idea of Yitzchak's face looking like Avram's face means that what was hidden became revealed. There's a part of the Torah which was called Yitzchak. There's a part of the Torah which was called Avraham. The part of the Torah which is called Yitzchak, the fire part of the Torah, is the hidden part of the Torah. The part of the Torah which is called Avram is the revealed part of the Torah, the laws of the Torah, the Gemara, the Shulchan Aruch. That's the Avram part of the Torah. The Yitzchak part of the Torah is the secrets of the Torah, the Zohar, the Kabbalah, the chassidus. So ordinarily, what's hidden is hidden, what's revealed is revealed. Yitzchak stays in Yitzchak and Avram stays in Avram. But when there's a time when there's a Jewish child and he may be swept away from Avram, so God says all bets are off, all rules are changed. I'm going to take the deepest secrets of the Torah. I'm going to take my crown. I'm going to take the jewel in my crown and the language of the Alter Rebbe and the famous parable, how this king's son, this prince, was deathly ill, and the king says, I'm going to take the doctors told the king, the only thing that can cure your son is this jewel in your crown. And the doctor's like, and it's not even worth doing it because your son's so sick, it's just going to spit out the medicine we'll make with the jewel. The king is like, doesn't matter. This is my son's life. Everything is zero to my son's life. And therefore God takes the jewel, the Torah, the inner dimension of the Torah, the chassidus, and he gives it to us where we can understand it. So because no one should say that a Jew is not Avram's child. God takes the Yitzchak part of the Torah, the inner dimension of the Torah, and he turns it into an Avram part of the Torah. He makes it open, and we all learn chassidus. We all can talk about chassidus in meaningful ways, which our great couldn't do that before. Why not? Because God saw that we have different challenges generations before didn't have, and therefore God gave us new opportunities. And this month, the month of Kislev, is that what this is about. This is a month when the Alter Rebbe was redeemed, when the Mikra Rebbe was redeemed, and tonight is a night when the Rebbe, so to speak, was redeemed from his illness, from this challenge. And that's what the word Kislev means. Kislev has two parts. Kes means hidden, and Lamed Vav is the numerical equivalent of 36. So that the word number 36 equals Eile. Eile means this is what it is. There's things which are hidden, and when they think what and the Kislev means what is hidden becomes revealed and open and exposed. I was by this convention. I met Rabbi Kutner. Rabbi Kutner in Israel. You may have heard of him. He's the one who takes care of terror victims in Israel. You know Rabbi Kutner? Terror victims of terror.
Who takes care of them?
Rabbi Kutner. And one of the last hostages to get out of the hospital, the last hostage to get out of the hospital, came out only a little while ago. He said I think last week he came out of the hospital. 2 weeks ago he came out of the hospital. And he didn't want to talk to anybody. This hostage was hurt more than anyone else. And he didn't want to talk to anyone. Only to his family. He has a lot of friends that wanted to see him. He didn't want to talk to anybody. Rabbi Kutner, during the time when he was in captivity, he got close to the family. The family really leaned on him. For example, he had a younger brother. This man who was in captivity. He had a younger brother whose bar mitzvah was coming up, and the family was like, we're not doing a bar mitzvah. The older brothers in captivity would do a bar mitzvah. Rabbi Kutner was like, no, you can't make this boy lose his bar mitzvah. For his whole life, he'll think I lost my bar mitzvah. I didn't have a bar mitzvah. Give the kid a bar mitzvah. So anyways, he became close to the family. So when this boy, the older brother, came out of captivity, he went to the hospital, and this man who was released agreed to see him. He sat with him for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes, for an hour. And then he says, I want everyone to leave. I just want to I have a question for the rabbi. What was his question he wanted to ask the rabbi? He said to the rabbi like this. They're not, it's very religious. They don't really know this stuff. But when I woke up, he said, the first morning in Gaza, I wanted to speak to God. And I said, whatever prayers I know. Whatever prayers I know for any holiday I know. Whatever song I knew that was a Jewish song, I sang it. I sang it, and I said it, and I prayed it. I did it every day. But after a while of doing this, I decided that this might not be meaningful. And I wasn't really sure. I did it every day. I wasn't sure why. I remember once hearing that a prayer needs a guf naki. Prayer needs a clean body. I don't have a clean body. The terrorists, Machshamam, they gave him a thing of water. Rabbi Kutner doesn't speak English that well. I'm not sure if they gave him a bucket, or they gave him a bottle, whatever. They gave him something, a larger quantity of water once every 4 weeks, and sometimes once every 8 weeks. They gave him a little bit of more water so that he could wash himself. And he said, until I wash myself, and even after I wash myself, I'm still very dirty. So are my prayers accepted, or are my prayers not accepted? So Rabbi Kutner told him, there are no purer prayers, there are no holier prayers than the prayers that you recited. There's nothing as pure as the prayers you've said. What is that? Rabbi Kutner, what was he telling him? Where was it coming from? There's another emissary, the Rebbe shared the following in Bell Harbor, in Florida. This guy comes to the famous Shul in Bell Harbor. Shul in Bell Harbor has visitors from all over the world, and this guy was coming from the East Coast, from a very insular Hasidic community, and he. One more story. You have 5 more minutes on you.
I'm actually going to Hasid's speech to that right now.
Oh, I don't want you to miss that. Okay, we'll send you the video.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a great day. So, anyways, this hostage, this guy comes to Shul Bell Harbor, and he comes to a very Hasidic insular community. He comes to this community on a Shabbos, and he walks in the shul on the Shabbos, and as he's walking in the shul, he sees another guy pull up to the shul. It's Shabbos, but this guy's driving, and he stops his car outside the shul. And he is from a very insular community, and he can't believe this guy is driving to shul on Shabbos. He never saw such a thing in his life. He's driving to shul. Parenthetically, I just do want to say, they ever told my grandfather, Rabbi Fogelman, that he should block the driveway of the shul on Shabbos. You shouldn't actually encourage people to, you don't embarrass someone, you don't eject someone, they drove to shul on Shabbos, but you don't invite them to drive to shul either. Anyways, this guy drives to shul, he comes in the shul, and this man, who is from this insular community, can't believe it. He can't believe it. He wants to ask the rabbi, genuinely, objectively, not with disdain or with anger. He wants to understand, how is this possible? How is this possible? So, but he doesn't want to ask the rabbi, Rabbi Lipsker, because Rabbi Lipsker is a rabbi, you might insult him. So he's thinking, who should I ask? He wanted to really know. He sees this guy has a long black beard, and he's praying, and he's sweating in his prayers, and he's singing. This guy must know. This guy, he is him. This guy knows. He's into it. I could ask this guy. He'll know what's going on. So he goes over to him. He says to him, tell me, is it possible? Is it okay for a Jew to drive to shul on Shabbos and pray in a shul? How does it make sense according to halacha? So this man, he says, listen, sir, you can't really ask me about halacha, because I don't know halacha. I don't know anything about halacha, about ramifications of halacha, but I could tell you that 2 years ago, I was driving to shul myself. Okay, no further questions. I get it. Huh? What? Same thing?
When I start religions, I used to drive to shul. It's too far.
It's better that you drive to shul and go.
One guy saw me.
One second.
Religious guy saw me. I know him. So he pointed. He said, "Hey, look at this guy. He's driving to shul."
It's okay. I mean, if it's a difference of not keeping Shabbos at all and actually being at home being miserable.
Are you asking me a question?
Or going to shul, driving to shul, it's better to drive to shul.
Chas to shul. You're not allowed to drive to shul. You can't drive to shul. You cannot drive to shul. You cannot drive to shul. You can eject and embarrass them, drive to shul, but you cannot drive to shul. The right thing is that you find a place to stay, and if you can't, then you realize that there's divine providence in the world, and you have a mitzvah of Shabbos, and that's your mitzvah today. It's not. It's easy for me to say that, but that's the reality. I want to tell you the reality. I want to tell you. I'm not going to insult your intelligence, Sylvia. I'm telling you this you can understand. You can understand. I want to tell you the reality. The reality is, I'll tell you this way. My grandfather was by the previous Rebbe once. The previous Rebbe was speaking about Hallel. We're going to say Hallel tomorrow. In Hallel, there's a line, Ona Hashem Kini Avdacha. Ona Hashem Kini Avdacha is translated in the Siddur, I believe, with the words, please Hashem answer me, I'm your servant. My grandfather, I missed it farbrengen in the previous Rebbe, actually. And he always recounted this moment when he heard this teaching, because it meant a lot to him. He saw one of his friends, what happened by the farbrengen? The previous Rebbe said the word Ona, his friend told him. Ona doesn't mean please, Ona means where. Ona Hashem, wherever I am, Hashem, I'm your servant. Wherever you send me. Wherever I am your servant. You with me? Chaim. Chaim. Where am I going? What I'm trying to say is, Mendel Futafas, he had a great blessing from the Rebbe. You know what blessing he got? Shmuel, the blessing he got was this, the best blessing. Every parent wants his blessing. Say the right thing to the right person at the right time. That's the blessing he got. And he explained the blessing. He says, if you go in the morning to a chicken coop, chassidim have their way of thinking. Yes, his way of talking. You go to a chicken coop in the morning. You go to the chicken coop, and you say the chicken's good morning. So you said the right thing to the wrong person at the right time. However, right thing, right time, wrong person. However, said Mendel, if you go to the chicken coop at night and you say good morning, you've now said the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person. So, that's what Mendel. So Mendel said, Mendel Futafas. And Mendel said, you farbrengen Mendel. Wow. So Mendel said, when you speak to a Jew about Torah mitzvahs, you speak to a Jew about a mitzvah, it's always the right thing, it's always the right person, it's always the right time. Words that come from the heart, if you say it for real, words that come from the heart enter the heart, it's always the right person, the right time. So this is something we get from Rosh Chodesh Kislev, this is something that the Rebbe gives to us. The Rebbe is the one who reveals to our generation the inner dimension of the Torah in a way that never was before. What's that never was before? Things that were never before revealed were revealed. What I mean is like this. I know if I'm able to explain this properly, I'm not shy. There are some people attracted to great rabbis. What's great rabbis? A rabbi who's very knowledgeable. A rabbi who has he knows all kinds of ways of explaining something in intricate ways. He's brilliant. He attracts a certain kind of crowd. There are other people that are attracted, not the brilliant rabbis, are attracted to, let's say, rabbis who are pious, people who fast from Shabbos to Shabbos, people who give all they have to others. They're attracted. They're attracted by their righteousness, their saintliness, by their wisdom, by their love, by who they are, by what they are. But then there's something about the Rebbe. People get annoyed by the cavalier way Chassidim describe the Rebbe. They get annoyed because they don't understand. They think we're saying the Rebbe is, but really we want to say the Rebbe isn't. They're tzaddikim. The more they are, the more they attract. The better they are, the higher they are. We're not saying the Chassidim of the Rebbe, don't say the Rebbe is the most. Say the Rebbe is the least. The least. We say in davening every day, the Jewish people believe in God and in Moshe, his servant. No one worships the Rebbe. The Rebbe is the servant of Hashem. He's transparent to the will of Hashem. He has no ego, no sense of self. Only devotion to the Jewish people. And therefore, who does the Rebbe reach? The Rebbe reaches every single Jew. Not because of who he is, but because of who he isn't. Because he's connecting from the very essence of himself to the essence of a Jew. This is the idea of the revelation, the inner dimension of the Torah. They're part of the Torah. The Zohar says there are three things bound with each other. The Torah, the Jewish people, and Hashem. And when you connect to the essence of the Torah, you connect the essence of a Jew to the essence of Hashem. Rabbi Yehuda Avner, Alav Shalom, was an advisor of 5 Israeli prime ministers. He wrote a great book about the Israeli prime ministers. He's an amazing man.
He speaks English good.
He speaks very good English. And he once was by the Rebbe, and he wanted to convince the Rebbe about something that Israeli politics. They sent him. He's right. The Israeli prime ministers had more correspondence than we could possibly know. A lot of it's still classified. They asked the Rebbe a lot of different things. And Yehuda Avner was sent to talk to the Rebbe and to convince the Rebbe, to explain to the Rebbe why they're doing what they're doing. But Yehuda Avner was very impressed because as the conversation went on, He was convinced. He was sent as an ambassador for the prime minister to convince the Rebbe, but the Rebbe convinced him. So he was really impressed, and he tells the Rebbe, I just want to ask you a question. You're amazing. What's your ambition in life? The Rebbe took out a candle. The Rebbe asked Rabbi Yehuda Avner, what is this? He says, it's a candle. He says, no, the Rebbe said. It's a ball of wax. It's a ball of wax with a string in it. When does a candle become a candle? When you light it. Before you light it, it's just a ball of wax. So my ambition, the Rebbe says, is that a Jew has a body and a Jew has a soul. His soul should give light to his body. That's my ambition.
I give you
So Yehuda Avner says to Rebbe, Rebbe, did you fulfill your ambition in life in me? Did you light my fire? Did you light my fire? Asked the Rebbe. The Rebbe said, no, but I gave you a match. I gave you a match. What's pshat? What's pshat? That's the difference in Avram and Yitzchak. Avram is I give you the fire. Yitzchak is I give you the match. I reveal what's in you have in yourself. The Rebbe is not what he is. The Rebbe is revealing what you have inside yourself. Yitzchak, let's bring this home a little bit. Who was the first one to give Meiser? Anybody know? The first one to give Meiser? Esav was the first to give Meiser. No? Esav was not the first one to give Meiser. He's the most famous one to give Meiser because he did it in a weird way. Huh? Hevel, no? Avram doesn't say give Meiser. The Rambam says, I'll tell you the answer to the Rambam.
Yeah, match.
The Rambam,
To light the fire.
Shvebele. Avram doesn't say give Meiser. Avram was full of kindness. It could be he did it, but he doesn't say give Meiser. The first one that says he gives specifically 10% was Yitzchak. Yitzchak, the Torah says, he planted seeds in a hard year, in a hard country. It actually would have made more sense for him to eat the seeds and plant them. But Yitzchak knew if God gave him some green earth, and God gave him a day in God's green earth, and God gave him seeds, he had to try. And he planted seeds, and he miraculously had a windfall of 100% more than expected, 100 times more than expected. So he wanted, the Torah says, to estimate how much he earned to give 10% to charity. He was the first one. Why was he the first one? Because who was Yitzchak? Yitzchak was the guy who's digging the wells. What did digging a well? Revealing what's beneath the surface. When you give 10% of your earnings to charity, what are you saying? What are you declaring? You're saying, this isn't my money, this is God's money. When you give 10% of your earnings to charity, before you use it yourself, what are you saying? But first of all, this belongs to Hashem. That's your declaration. Just like Yitzchak dug wells, he revealed what was beneath the surface. That's the essence of who Yitzchak is. One more story of Mendel Futerfas. Mendel Futerfas, when he was in the Gulag in Siberia, he was once assigned to carry boxes from one ship to another ship. There was two ships, and they were adjacent to each other. And there's a tiny bit of space between one ship and another. You could easily walk over it. And Mendel was carrying these boxes from ship A to ship B. And he went back and forth like other prisoners in the Gulag. We have to carry the boxes. Today's box carrying day. They don't exactly ask the prisoners what activity was like today. Today's box carrying day. So he's carrying boxes, 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes on one trip back with 1 box to the ship. He tripped and he fell in the water. He's drowning quickly, and the sailors notice him. 2 sailors notice him. They throw him a rope. They rescue him. His life is saved. They tell him, Mendel, you realize you could have died in a second. If we didn't see you, you would have been gone in a second. Mendel is appreciative, but when he shared the story, his face was shining, such happiness. And I was like, dude, what's the celebration about? You survived? He said, no. Celebration is, for years I didn't go to the mikveh. For years I hadn't a chance to go. Now I finally had a chance to go to the mikveh. You see what's going on? Mm-hmm. Mendel was someone who could see beneath the surface. To really know the story, to know the story of Hashem, what Hashem's plan is, you have to know the author. Mendel was someone who, he didn't look at things the way we look at things. He looked at things beneath the surface. So bottom line is that Hashem gives us special power today, the day of the Rebbe's recovery, the day of the Rebbe's being brought into the world again. And every year on this day, there's a new revelation of godliness that we never heard before, Ma'alim B'Kodesh, and empowers us to connect to the Rebbe's mission. And what's the Rebbe's mission? To bring Mashiach. How to bring Mashiach? We're revealing the Mashiach within ourselves, revealing Mashiach in another Jew, through another mitzvah. It's simple as that. You're revealing Mashiach in yourself, you reveal Mashiach in another Jew, and not to judge another person by the way they look. To look beneath the surface. Kiss slave. What's hidden should be revealed. And that's what you have to approach. You don't see it. Imagine you'll hear your grandfather tell you, that in the Catalina Island, he hid a treasure for you. Okay. You go to Catalina Island, X marks the spot, you have a map, you open the map, and you go, and after day number 1, you've covered 2 feet of earth in that spot, you've dug 2 feet, and what happens on day 2, on day 3, and day 4? You're getting more excited. You're getting closer. At day 17, like, Dad, Abba, are you sure that he said it was over here? Maybe he said Mount Catalina Island, maybe it was Jamaica, and anyways, Jamaica would be a nice place to visit anyways. And, like, what are we doing here, Dad? And every day you're getting more and more annoyed, maybe this isn't the spot. But imagine if you knew for sure this was the spot, every day you get more and more excited, every day getting really closer. So for the Rebbe, for the Tzaddik, he sees in the Jew the treasure. He sees it with his eyes, the treasure. And he asks us, the chassidim, each of us, to give our... Last story. There was a Jew who was a minor, and he came with his Rabbi Dubrovsky from Texas, to visit the Rebbe. He told the Rebbe, there's an interesting phenomenon I have in my business. We drill for diamonds, and at the tip of the drill there's a diamond. The Rebbe said, I have a similar ironic thing in my business. I asked my chassidim to go out around the world and to find a diamond of the Jew. I hope they use their diamond to find the diamond. That's the word. That's the word of jewishculture. To realize that it means us, we have the diamond in ourselves, to believe in it, believe who we are. The Philistines, how they cover the wells? What's the Hebrew word Torah uses for covering the wells? Sismum. Sismum, what's the root of the word sismum? Stam. הפלישתים סיתמו את הבארות שחפר יצחק. מה השורש של המילה סיתמום? סיתמום זה בעברית, זה לשון קודש. סיתמום, they cover the wells. תגיד לי כבוד הרב, are you special or are you stam? Are you special or are you ordinary? The moment you say about yourself you're ordinary, doesn't matter if you daven, doesn't matter if you learn, doesn't matter if you give tzedakah, doesn't matter anything because you're stam. You don't let the diamond come out. Satum, you come close. The first step is to realize that you're a chassid, the son of a chassid, the grandson of a chassid. The first step is to realize that you belong, you're connected to the Rebbe. And today's jewishculture, you have a connection. You're able to bring out another Jew, and there's nothing that can stop you because you're connected. That's step number 1. The moment you say you're stam, forget it. So we have to realize who we are and what we are, and who we're connected to, and what Hashem gives us in special jewishculture, and to decide today to not give in to mediocrity. Not given to mediocrity, not to be like Frontier Airlines, mediocre airlines. To be where we're meant to be. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.